Hello everyone, you're watching the United Kingdom Speedrunner Gathering. For our penultimate run tonight, we have something new and exclusive. Well, maybe not exclusive, but we got something new for UKSG. It is a co-op all dungeons run by Malmo and Krithel. It's going to be, as I said, co-op. Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. We've got two commentators with us today. We've got Sirius Cord and Foxlisk. So guys, I will hand it over to you. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'm Krithel.
I'm Malmo.
And yeah, so we are going to do some co-op Link to the Past. There's a lot going on, so we brought in some top-notch commentary who will explain what all this is, what we're doing, and guide you through the run. I think we're good to start.
All right, yeah. I guess we'll count you down. Is that right?
Yep. Do you want to count us in, and then we'll hand it over to you?
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, so I'm Fox, and this is Sirius, and we're going to be doing our best to explain this co-op run for you.
Yep. I'm Sirius Cord. Sirius, whatever. So the co-op part of this we'll try and get into here, but basically it is a project outside of Link to the Past that they're using that connects their game to each other online through a server. So they're going to be syncing things like small keys, big keys, items. I forget the various settings that they're using, but right off the bat, Malmo's going to be grabbing the lamp, and Krithle's going to end up with it inside of his inventory if everything's working correctly.
Right, and so this allows them to split up right at the beginning of the game and sort of divide up the responsibilities. So if you're familiar with this game, you can see Malmo here is going to the escape, which is where most runs of this game start, but we're in this category. This is called restricted major glitches. We're allowed to use some of the game-breaking glitches to do things like what Krithel just did, where we sort of clip into slopes and hop out of bounds. And so he's going to go off and take care of the first dungeon proper, the Eastern Palace, while Malmo makes her way through escape. And you're about to see Krithel get his sword that Malmo picks up, and that's...
And shield.
And shield, right, important. And so items like that syncing, so the run is built around a lot of sort of dividing responsibilities and getting one runner getting the other the items that they need at convenient times to get through things very fast.
Right. And the cool thing about the All Dungeons Restricted Major Glitches category for co-op is that unlike No Major Glitches category, where there is a lot of players working together and completing different tasks just to make sure they get through the game fast, the Restricted Major Glitches Complete All Dungeons category has some elegance built into it where things are kind of timed so that they get items at pretty convenient moments for each other. So we'll kind of point that out as we come to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of flexibility in like what you're allowed to do within the rule set, and so routing this has been a really interesting project. There's still small reroutes and new ideas coming up all the time for how to line things up, because you can kind of get things in whatever order you want, and figuring out the order that's most convenient for both players is really interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so the beginning of the run looks a lot like a normal run. We want to get through... Well, one player wants to get through Eastern as soon as possible because the prize for Eastern is the boots, which allow you to go fast, and we want to go fast. And there's not much else to do at the very start of the game, and we have to do the escape anyway. So Malmo's making her way through the escape as quickly as possible. This should line up to allow Malmo to get some hidden chests in the back of escape that are not really seen in any other category for resource management, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah. Now, coming up on Krithle's screen here, he's going to be doing a quick skip that every category pretty much does that gets the big key. He's taking damage from the Popo enemy there, the little tentacled monster, and then walking into the anti-fairies to grab the pot and hit the button rather than have to kill every single enemy in the room. Saves a decent chunk of time, and pretty much every category ends up doing that.
Yeah. It's trickier than it looks, especially because you're sort of forced to have 3 hearts here. Most categories you'd have 4 hearts at this point.
Yep.
So
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
there's not too much going on here besides just normal Zelda gameplay. It's really going to heat up right after this. Once we get the boots, so two things are going to happen kind of at the same time. We're going to get the boots, and we're going to rescue Princess Zelda shortly afterwards. Rescuing Zelda ends rain state, where outside the world is sort of rainy and lots of stuff is not normal, and you're a little bit limited in where you can go. And so the world really opens up. The boots allow you to do a bunch of clips around the world to various places, and so it's going to be very exciting in just a moment. We're going to have a bunch of out-of-bounds stuff, climbing the mountain without the required items.
Yeah, and I guess while we're waiting for Krithel to beat the boss in the next room and Malmo to start making her way through the sewers coming up, restricted major glitches, like Fox alluded to, is just a set of the major glitches that aren't as broken. So most of the glitches that you'll be seeing in that subset in this run are going to be overworld clips and out of bounds, and then dungeons, caves, and underworld screens. It's pretty much any glitch that lets you move through collision but not end up fully out of bounds afterward. It's a little bit of an oversimplification, but it's probably the easiest way to say it.
Right. It is definitely major glitches, but if you haven't seen really glitched runs of this game, I promise we're leaving out a lot of the most powerful stuff.
So
Krithel
here is Krithel's grabbing the boots from Sahasrahla here, the elf cowboy, and he's going to be grabbing bombs from that broken wall on the back of the room here before leaving. As you can see, Malmo gets the boots right away, and after this room, she's going to have a broken wall that she can bonk into as well, and behind that is bombs for her to make use of, and that really kind of opens up the run because bomb clips just tend to be easier than some of the other clipping methods in this game.
Yeah, in general, there's a lot of clipping methods in this game, and most of them are very difficult. The ones with bombs and boots are the ones that we try to do whenever we can. So you can see the rain here has not yet ended. It will end probably while Krithel is climbing the mountain. And he is going up here. So normally you, in order to get up the mountain, you're supposed to have the gloves, but we're never going to actually get the gloves. We're going to get the second glove, but never the first glove. And so we're going to do... it's a little hard to explain, but basically we're going to clip into some collision, hop below the screen in such a way that we wrap around to the top. Yeah, there you just see the rain go away. And then we're going to enter the cave that has a heavy rock in front of it from above. And then we're going to climb up and rescue the old man.
The cave that's in the tree.
Right. The tree house.
Yeah. So Malmo's going to grab this tank cart. You should see that pop up on Krithel's end shortly after that. She's also going to end up going up the mountain in a slightly different way. It's honestly probably one of my favorite ways of going up here because the screen very temporarily looks like it's winter. But she doesn't need to grab the old man because Krithel's already grabbing the old man, so she's going to be using an older method of this glitch to just skip the cave and go directly to the mountain. And
yeah, so this is a faster way up the mountain, but it doesn't rescue the old man, and you need to rescue the old man. But one of the many things that this co-op thing syncs is event progress, such as having rescued the old man. So Malmo gets her mirror, and also can now save and quit to the mountain.
Yes. Meanwhile, Krithel is completely out of bounds in map wrapped at this point. He's going to be entering a cave that's not visible on screen, and he's going to be using a bomb to clip himself into the wall onto what's called a teleport pixel. And pretty much all you need to know is that if you hold a certain set of directions, you teleport in that direction. So he uses a downwards teleport there to transition downwards, and conveniently that puts him in Palace of Darkness, which is the first Dark World dungeon. Now, what he's doing right now is he's opening this door in cave state. When you're in a cave, the game doesn't really expect you to see small key doors, so it gives you 255 of them that you just don't see a counter for, and he's just using that to open that first one and save having to get a key later. It's important to note he can't really complete the dungeon in that state because of the way he clipped into there. None of the enemies, including the boss, are actually loaded in the dungeon. So he has to reload the dungeon by going out and coming back in order to spawn the boss that he's going to then go and beat.
He also actually has to spawn other things, including the crystal switches, in order to get everywhere.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Everything is kind of unspawned. A real quick thing, I don't know, I don't want to go into too much detail, but all of the rooms in the dungeons and caves are laid out on a big flat map, and they're all like right next to each other. And most of the rooms are kind of next to the rooms that they transition to, but like not always. And so it just happens that cave that Krithel did the bomb clip from is next to a convenient room in Palace of Darkness on that map. So he hit that transition in a way that the game doesn't expect, and the game is just like, all right, well, I'll move you one room south on this map, and that destination happens to be inside Palace of Darkness, which is the sort of hopefully simplified version of how that clip works.
Yeah. Now, coming up here, Malmo's going to be grabbing the item from Hera, which is the Moon Pearl, which lets you actually be Link in the Dark World. On Krithel's screen, he's going to be grabbing the hammer, and it's going to come just in time for Malmo to get to the boss of Tower of Hera, which is Moldorm. Normally, in a No Major Glitches run, Moldorm takes 6 hits with the sword in order to kill, spin or slash. But with the hammer that she's about to receive, it cuts the number in half because the hammer deals the same damage as a level 3 sword.
Right, and this also allows her to skip the, we call it the enrage phase. On the last hit of Moldorm, he usually moves at 2x speed, which is, quite a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
Right. Really good timing on that hammer, though. One of the things about this run is that if either player runs into trouble, it can throw off the sync for the other player. And so if potentially something had gone wrong on Krithel's side, Malmo has had to fight that boss without the hammer before. So far things are looking really smooth in terms of their progress together. They're synced on their route right now.
Yep. So Malmo now is going to kind of be doing a little bit of a shopping trip. She's going to be doing a glitch that's called Smith DMD or Tempered DMD, and basically she's going to be going down the mountain and wrapping the screen multiple different times. What this ends up doing is she keeps the mountain's collision the entire time, but the game actually tracks where she is elsewhere on the map. So if you were to open the map, you would actually see that she's like crossing through the castle or in the village. The way she's traversing the screen right now, she's trying to navigate to a specific spot on the screen so she can mirror and put down a portal in such a place that she can grab the smith without needing to get the gloves upgrade to save him normally. And that's going to let her get the sword before they do any more dungeons. Unfortunately, it almost never comes in time for Krithel and the upcoming boss fight, which would be incredibly convenient. But here she's entering this building to fix the camera because otherwise it can cause other issues. And by going up here, you can see that the mirror she placed just appears. Now she's going to be grabbing the book too, since it's right beside here beforehand.
Yeah, we'll need the book later to get another item.
Yep.
So Krithel on maybe the scariest fight in the whole run. You don't have a lot of hearts, and your only weapon, as Sirius was mentioning, we don't have a good sword yet, so we have to use the hammer. That was an excellently done Helmasaur fight.
Yes,
from
it
Krithel,
was.
Really nice work. Making that look a lot easier than it is.
Yeah. So at this point, if there's anything that you'd like to read or say, now's a good time to do it because Krithel's in a 50-second cutscene, effectively, and Malmo's just going to be upgrading her sword.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Yes, we are sorry, let me start that one again. We are raising money to support Crisis, a charity supporting people out of homelessness for good. We currently don't have any donations, but we are only $201 away from that $3,000 mark, and only $330 away from summer 2021, or what's it, 2020, sorry. And so if you guys could get donations in, it all goes to a great cause. 90% is going to go straight to the charity Crisis. 10% goes to UKSG to help us put on more awesome events just like this one. Personally, I am loving this run so far. I had no idea such things were even possible. I love the Zelda series. Always been a big fan. So I'm so happy to get to host for this right now. Thank you very much for watching, guys.
All right. So
Thank you.
So on Krithel's screen, he's basically going to enter Hera just to fix his camera really quickly. Then he's going to be descending the mountain as well and heading to where Malmo currently is to do a dungeon in the village. Malmo just grabbed 300 rupees from someone's house that she broke into. That's going to come in handy later when she needs to pay off an extorting fish that wants to sell us flippers for an exorbitant amount of money. But now she's on her way to Skull Woods and is basically just going to be going through the dungeon pretty normally at this point, same as Krithel once he gets there. Malmo's going to be looking to grab the fire rod, and Krithel the gloves that we've been avoiding up till this point.
Yeah, so this game, with one exception of the gold sword, basically, whenever you get upgraded items, you just get the final form. If you get the second level mitts, you just get them, which allows us to skip the first level mitts. But the only way to get into the Dark World, there's a portal on the top of Death Mountain, which is why Krithel had to do that sort of DMD, is because, DMD is short for Death Mountain Descent, which is just getting down from the mountain. We don't have any other way into the Dark World right now until we get those gloves. So those gloves will grant us a lot more freedom in moving around. We could defeat Aghanim to get a portal to the Dark World, but that's very, very slow. We'll do that at the end when we're overpowered and in the area anyway.
Right.
All dungeons does mean all dungeons, though, so we do have to kill Aghanim 1 eventually.
Yes. Yeah, as you'll see at the end of the run there, they'll be killing both versions of Aghanim probably in sync if all goes well, because both of the fights end up putting you right beside the final fight in the game. So, I mean, I guess while they're doing these dungeons fairly normally, the way this category ends, there's no way for them to actually end the game without beating the final boss, so they're both going to have to beat the final boss of the game. And time for this ends when the last one of them defeats that boss. Looks like Malmo's taking a bit of a longer route through that room just to get some hearts.
Yeah, she's on kind of low resources in this run. You don't have a lot of hearts right now. The moth fight can be quite scary. Hopefully we'll have... It's sort of bimodal, where moth fights usually are either over in a blink and it looks like nothing happened, or it's like a horrifying nightmare and you almost die. So hopefully we'll get one of the former ones today. Yeah.
The reason that is, it's worth mentioning, is that because in the original version of this game, so they're playing on Japanese 1.0 version, the spikes deal the same amount of damage as the gold sword, and moth is coded to ignore damage from the spikes. So Malmo fought the boss and managed to avoid knocking him into the spikes, but you can get into situations where the spikes end up overwriting the damage you're trying to do to the boss and making the fight take a ridiculous amount of time. Oh no.
Oh, Krithel. Careful.
Alright, Krithel's probably going to be trying to take it real slow here. Wow.
Ouch.
Alright. Thankfully, that's not too punishing. It's a bit of time. But it's a bit better than what could have happened toward the end of this dungeon.
Yeah, it should be fine. I'm not sure. We'll find out how exactly it ends up affecting the sync.
So, if I have to guess, what's likely going to happen is that unless something happens to Malmo, she'll probably end up grabbing the ice rod to sync everything back up later in the run.
Yeah,
But,
well, I guess we'll see. You're going to get to see a never-before-seen route of all dungeons co-op.
Yep. This is definitely one thing that the co-op provides the flexibility for, is that if one of the players experiences issues or takes a death, you can kind of accommodate for them to a certain degree.
Yeah. So I did want to mention, you said they're playing on Japanese 1.0 version. I think it's really cool aspect of this is that they literally are. Krithel is playing on the... I believe on original hardware on actual Japanese.
Like on an actual cartridge, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. Malmo's on emulator, but again with the actual cart. The only thing that's providing the sync is reading memory and updating some addresses to sync items. It's not a modified cart in any way, which is super cool.
Yep, and this does work on console now too, as of I think sometime last year.
Yeah.
whereas previously it only worked on emulator.
Yeah, you have to have a flash card, but you
Yes.
can do it on emulator.
So on Malmo's screen, we kind of didn't talk too much about it, but she ascended the mountain again and used the book to get the Ether Medallion, which is going to open Misery Mire for us in just a bit. She's now just hopped off of the mountain into the waterfall, and she's going to go pay that fish an exorbitant amount of money for some water shoes. Because for whatever reason, Link needs flippers before he can actually swim in this game.
Well, the $500 covers the lessons. It covers access to the magic water, the whirlpools.
Yeah, I mean, you can use the whirlpools beforehand too if you glitch.
Well, yeah, but
Cheat your
it's
way in.
illegal.
Yeah, sure. The magic lessons that teach you how to swim instantly.
Exactly.
All right. Krithel, meanwhile, is going to be fighting Blind, which is a scripted fight, and all goes well. Should be the same every time, but
Okay,
it wasn't this time.
It was
So
close enough that we got through.
Yeah, he got a little bit off script, but the off script fight is consistent every time too if you're used to it. Yep. So at this point here, Malmo is saving quitting to the old man, and she's doing a similar thing to what was done with the Smith DMD earlier, except this time she's going to be placing the near portal in a
no, she's going to get GT Big Key.
Oh, okay.
So this is an on-the-fly reroute. She mentioned having done this in a run with a similar problem occurred the other day. So they're rerouting. She has some time to fill, basically, where she would be waiting on Krithel because of his death in Thieves Town. And so she is going to accomplish something in the meantime, instead of just sitting around and waiting, which is doing the basement of Ganon's Tower.
Right.
And she's going to get the big key. And then she might get red mail. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, they might be getting red mail here extremely early, which is a fantastic safety. Oh, they don't have the hook shot. I forgot about that too.
Oh,
yeah. So, like Fox said, red mail is the prize of this dungeon, and it's right by the big key. So normally, you wouldn't have it until toward the very end of the game, but because you can glitch into Ganon's Tower without collecting every crystal and every pendant in this version, you can get it as early as you want.
So normally, Malmo gets the blue mail, which she's been doing. These two have been running this category for 6 months or something. Krithel found out, I think, 5 days ago that Malmo has been getting the blue mail every run. He never noticed the entire time they've been running this together.
Yep.
pretty funny clip of that.
Yes. And if you're wondering why Krithel has blue mail on currently, part of what they're playing on, the Link to the Past online project, it does allow you to pick your sprite color. So Malmo's using the default just because that's her preference, but Krithel has chosen to a custom blue color.
So the next thing that Malmo will be doing, the thing that she would, under better circumstances, be in the midst of right now, is Swamp Palace. And the reason that she's putting that off is because Krithel is the one who's going to get the hookshot, which is the prize of Swamp Palace, which we'll see here in a minute. We actually get that from Swamp via Hera. So we're going to collect the big key from Misery Mire, and then we're going to do a series of clips through the wall, similar to the one that Krithel took from that cave into Palace of Darkness. And then we're going to end up in Swamp Palace, and the game is going to think that we're still in Misery Mire because we never left Misery Mire. We just went into some rooms that aren't usually part of Misery Mire. And that's going to allow us to use the big key of Misery Mire on the big chest of Swamp Palace. So he has to go collect the big key, and then we'll be doing that sequence of clips, which is a complicated sequence.
Yeah, it's like Fox mentioned, it's kind of a good and bad thing about this game is that from where you enter the underworld from, it maintains the ID of that through these clips to different places. So similar to how we clipped into Palace of Darkness from a cave and we had the cave state to open that one door, Krithel's going to be in Misery Mire this entire time, even though it doesn't look like it.
And Krithel's doing this bomb jump just for us. Oh, messed it. He went 1 pixel too far to the left.
Yeah, that is the hardest bomb jump in the game.
I think so. Yeah. It's pretty silly. It saves you quite a lot of time. You sort of make this loop faster, but you have to do a frame perfect glitch. You have to line up on a specific pixel, do a frame perfect glitch, and then pause buffer, select buffer your way into another frame perfect movement in order to get out. It's kind of a mess.
Now, yep, I was about to say Krithel doesn't have the small key yet, so I think he skipped the berry, and I think he skipped the berry and planned to kill it after the bomb jump, and then just didn't realize. Now he's in a little bit of a precarious spot because he does need to do a bomb clip here, which is going to deal a heart of damage.
Oh, he wants that magic.
I think he might have gotten it. No, he couldn't have gotten it before. I think he just forgot. Usually you do, but he might get it after. Like, he might just grab it before going downstairs. We'll see what happens. Whew. All right.
Okay, we're audibling to a dash citrus instead of this bomb clip. This is fine.
Which... Is the Wizard's broken at the moment?
I don't know. I'm very confused.
They might just not have room to spawn.
The top one should. I don't know.
No.
Oh, he got stuck. Oh, this is not.
All right.
I'm not sure.
So you mirror here. Yep.
Almo might actually just go to left side swamp and collect the big key herself.
I think that's what she's probably going to do. Yep.
Yeah.
So, Krithel is going to probably just be going and completing Mire at this point.
Yeah,
because Malmo's already in swamp. Normally what happens is that bomb flip he was doing would knock him into a fairy room in Hera, so he would have gotten a full heal from that. And after that full heal, he would have gone into the room with the big chest and done another clip into Swamp Palace, where he would have still had the Mire big key and grabbed the hook shot from the big chest. At which point, it would have saved Malmo doing all of this movement here to go to the left side and get the Swamp Palace big key.
But now he's back up here like he is going to do the bomb clip, so I'm not sure exactly.
I think he just audibled to...
I think he just auto.
Yeah. To the same place.
You can fall in that hole?
Oh, yeah, you can fall in those. And if you fall... So, if you fall in the one south of that screen, you end up in the portal room beside the big key, I think.
What?
But the door's shut.
That's funny.
Yep. I have accidentally ended up in there.
Oops.
Yep. So Krithel here is, he's just figured out what's going on. He's getting back on track. So he's going to be heading to the Mire big chest and grabbing the Cane of Samaria. Usually you hook shot to the block just because it makes things easier in that room, but because they don't have hook shot yet, they're just going to be going a long way around with the dash.
Oh, and the blocks are the wrong way.
That's okay.
This dungeon is really confusing. There's a lot of different routes through it. It's hard to remember exactly what you've done if you get off track.
So this doesn't lose that much time, though. With like, this might have been a conscious decision, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's just
thankfully, like Fox said, the dungeon's a maze, but there's also like multiple different ways through it at the same time, which makes it pretty easy to get back on track.
Yep. All right. So I think things are going to be normalized from here. I think compared to their normal sync up in this dungeon, Krithel is going to be finishing like this dungeon a little bit earlier than he normally would. But otherwise, I think that their sync is back on track. Also, they just have all the items that they need now. The exception is the ice rod. Maybe Krithel will end up grabbing the ice rod. Maybe Malmo will. But they pretty much just have all the items in the game. They are actually pretty close to done with the game.
Yeah, all they need to really do is go through the motions here of actually beating the bosses.
Yeah. They have to kill a couple more bosses, including the big one at the end.
Yeah,
very nice, spooky action. So that's a fun glitch that Krithel just did. The fire rod has like a delayed action area of effects hit after it connects with something, and there's that reads some memory without actually writing to it first. So we can write values to that memory and then have the fire rod hit something that's way off screen, basically, instead of having the area of effect hit where the fire rod looks like it should hit. It hits all the way at the top of the screen. There's a switch in the next room.
So we should talk really quick about what Krithel's doing here. Is that goo on the floor actually deals a heart of damage at a time as you're standing in it, but there's one pixel on the right wall that you can stand in and not take damage. So he's abusing that fact, holding his sword up to maintain that he faces left, and then firing arrows at the eyeballs just to try and get them all dead. Normally damage boost through the goo. On Malmo's screen, she's beating the swamp boss, and she did a clip called Diver Down just to use the block to push Link's collision through a rail so she could hop into the water and head through the door before draining the water. So with that, there's going to be about 45 seconds if anything exists that you'd like to say or read or bring up. Because they're both going to be asynchronous cutscenes.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I'd just like to remind everyone, we are currently at $2,799.66. So even the smallest possible donation will push us over that $2,800 mark. We'd like to thank ESA, though, for supporting this marathon. Besides providing us with their channel for streaming, which you're watching on right now, they are sharing gear, technical assistance, and sponsors. Be sure to check out ESA's next event, ESA Winter 2022. That's going to be happening live in Malmo, Sweden, and in just 2 weeks' time, from the 12th to the 19th of February.
All right. So Krithel is now going to be heading to the side here and mirroring, and then he's going to be doing Desert Palace, which overlaps with the area of Mire. Malmo, meanwhile, is going to be heading over to this cliff, which is close to ice. Let's go with that.
She's
gonna
doing a mirror wrap. Yeah.
So she's going to mirror and transition on the exact same frame, which puts her in a very weird state that's probably too hard to explain at this point. She's going to move up only far enough to not soft lock or hard lock herself, and then she's going to transition back right, which pushes her ridiculously far across the screen, but conveniently in front of the door to Ice Palace.
Yeah, doing a mirror wrap left and then transitioning to the right again moves you like about half of a overworld screen to the right for some reason, and that's just where ice is. It's the fastest way in by a lot. Ice Palace is Palmo's favorite split in this run. It's my favorite split in these categories as well. It's super fun. We just did what's called Icebreaker, which was another sort of medium-sized glitch discovered around the same time as Diver Down to push her way through that wall, that rail, whatever you want to call it. And she's going to run down and blow up the boss while Krithel here is finishing up Desert. This is normally the second dungeon of the game, so we have somewhat more resources than you would normally have here. This boss is very difficult in the no major glitches speedrun, and it's quite fun in this category to get to to really annihilate it with the fire rod.
Yeah, and Krithel grabbing the big key there, making sure not to grab the gloves, because when Fox said earlier that the power-ups they'll just give you the last item in the chain. Conversely, they will also just give you the first item in the chain if you grab that later. So if he was to grab the gloves, he would effectively downgrade them.
Which actually would have no negative consequences whatsoever, except that you'd have to go out of your way and waste time picking them up.
Yeah, at this point, I think they only need a glove.
I don't think the mitts are actually used for anything in this category. They're just faster to pick up than the gloves.
Oh, that's fair. Alright, so Malmo beating Cold Stare and Krithel beating Lanmo. Krithel's going to be heading to Turtle Rock, where normally he would be grabbing Ice Rod. I don't know if he's heading directly to Turtle Rock or if he is going to be doing something beforehand, like grabbing silvers. But
maybe he could. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, he could do that.
Well, I don't think he's grabbing silvers because he did the wrong clip for that. Although, it's easy to go the wrong way.
See, I think what's going to happen is he's going to bank on Malmo getting to Ice Rod before he gets to Trinex, which is probably
she will. Yeah, that won't be a problem.
Yeah. So Krithel here is going to be climbing this hill, lovingly called the TR Ascent, I think. He's going to be doing another mirror wrap, this time a little bit easier to do, hopping off of a cliff that you can't see and entering this doorway to the right, which puts him at this laser bridge right at the bottom of TR. He's going to be grabbing the small key from the left, abusing collision to just get past the lasers, except for that. No one saw that. And now he's going to be climbing up Turtle Rock to go and grab the big key. At that point, he's going to mirror back down here and then head right to the boss rather than have to come all the way through it from the top.
Yeah, this is a really cool sequence, doing Turtle Rock backwards. Malmo here is just flexing. She's clipping into that Ice Rod Cave despite having plenty of bombs. Just wants to show off a little bit.
Technically, it is faster, but it's marginal.
I don't know anyone who can do it faster than using a bomb.
Technically. Very heavily technically.
It's faster for the task, for sure.
Yeah.
So Malmo now, I expect to get Silvers and Gold Sword and then do GT, but they could audible on that. No, we'll see.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I guess we're just going to have to see what they do here.
I think she will, but
I think she has the time. I definitely think she has the time to do it.
Yeah, because Krithel has to do, after Turtle Rock, he's going to do Aga Tower, and then Malmo is going to do Ganon's Tower. Yeah, so she's definitely going to get the Silvers. Yeah. The Silver Arrows, by the way, we keep talking about this as if everyone knows. Probably some people out there don't know. The Silver Arrows are an upgrade to your bow that you're supposed to... The game expects you to have the Silver Arrows for the Ganon fight. You're not really supposed to be able to beat Ganon without Silvers. You can, but it costs about 40 seconds. The fight is about 40 seconds slower without Silvers. So in this category, it's usually faster for one player to go get the Silvers to make that faster. It also makes some other stuff easier, just having more firepower.
Yeah, with the current routing that we know about, Silvers at the moment are a pretty free upgrade to our understanding, because there just seems to be this chunk of time that you don't have anything else to do with, and it speeds up the Ganon fight at the end.
Right.
Spoilers.
There's a Ganon fight at the end, in case you've never played Zelda before.
Yeah. She may be grabbing the Gold Sword too. She definitely has the time to do so at this point, probably, but it's a lot more marginal. It doesn't really deal any additional damage that the Tempered Sword they have can already do, but it can just be a quality of life thing. It makes the Ganon fight a little bit less... what's the word I'm looking for? You don't have to pay attention stressful. As much. It's kind of, it's less stressful.
Yeah, I know Malmo is prefers having it. She's not always... She doesn't want to risk messing up the Ganon fight. Usually it'll be fine, but why risk it when you have the time?
Exactly.
So now we're going to see our runners going into their last dungeons. Malmo's going to do her second Ganon's Tower clip of the day. Krithel is going to run to Aga Tower. Not actually sure how we get into Aga Tower in this category.
I believe you just
run from Link's house?
Sanctuary, I think.
Sanctuary. Oh yeah, just run from Sanctuary. That makes sense.
Yep. I'm pretty sure it's a river clip. It's been a couple days since I verified the world record, and I really should know the answer to this.
Yeah, chat is pointing out that the Gold Sword can save time on Trinex, which is true. Sometimes in this run, when things line up differently, it is possible for Malmo to get Krithel the Gold Sword in time for that fight. Yeah. But that's also pretty marginal.
So while Krithel is heading over to Aga Tower, he's just going to be clipping out of bounds into the river and entering it from off screen, similar to what you guys have already seen. Malmo's climbing the tower. There's really not too much left to talk about in this run. It's
so just the most technical and challenging part of the speedrun of climbing Ganon's Tower. I guess it's not the most technical part of glitch categories, but climbing Ganon's Tower is very fun.
It is definitely fun. I don't think with gold and silvers it's all that technical anymore, or less so than. You know what? It's different type of technical. Let's go with that.
Gold and silvers gives you more leeway, but you can.
It has its own strats. If you try and optimize it, it can actually be really intense. But you can also just kind of wing it and get through with pretty much every upgrade in the game at their disposal at this point in time.
Except red mail. We stuck with blue mail. We didn't really talk about that.
I mean,
but
blue male is
Malmo
the
did
better
grab
male.
blue male. I mean, it is more aesthetic. I'll give you that.
Yeah, Link has a banana hat. It's great.
Opting not to do the behemoth arrow.
Yeah.
Krithel is coming up on Aghanim 1. Aghanim 1 is a very dumb fight. There's not really much to it, and he can just sort of steal a bunch of time from you. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just RNG. RNG is not at all manipulable at any point in this game.
We've tried,
so
sadly.
Yeah, I don't mean that as in like, oh, wouldn't it be great if someone found out? I mean, it's just not manipulable. There's nothing you can do about it. And so he has a cycle of attacks, and on most of them, he gives you a 50-50 chance of being able to hurt him or not. This is I guess this is the first example of playing energy ball tennis in a Zelda game, which kind of became a staple of the series.
Personally, I find RNG the most exciting part of a speedrun.
All right, well, then you'll love
0
this.
or 15.
Yeah, you can get as many as 15. We call them blue balls. They're a sort of circle of smaller blue balls that you can't reflect back and hit Aghanim. You can get as many as 15, which has been done, I think, 3 times that we know of.
Is it 3? I only know of 2, and both times were the same person.
Oh, no, you're right. No, someone got 14.
Yes, which is the
haven't seen it
exact
there,
same
15.
odds as 15, but they lost the last coin flip.
Yeah.
In case anyone enjoys math facts, it's the exact same odds to win 14 coin flips and lose the 15th as it is to win 15 coin flips in a row. But, yeah, so Krithel is going to be, the first one here is a guarantee, the next 3 are 50-50, and the 5th attack is a lightning, and that repeats until Aghanim drops to the ground. So he's just going to be doing that for the next little bit. Once he's done that, assuming Malmo has
I think that was 3 for 3.
I think so too. Yeah, assuming Malmo has completed Ganon's tower by that point in time, Krithel will be dropping onto the top of the pyramid where the Ganon entrance is now open. If Malmo's not there quite yet, he might end up having to wait on her a little bit.
I think it'll be pretty close.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely close.
Really up to Aghanim.
So it's worth mentioning at this point, time stops when the last runner enters the Triforce room. So once Ganon has been defeated by both players, time will stop when the last one leaves the room.
Right, and we'll call that out. Oh, nice triple. Malmo's fighting Aghanim.
Let's try to call it out.
Which is a much shorter, but a much more difficult fight. You have these 2 clones that are shooting energy balls. Aga can shoot either an energy ball or a blue ball at you. It's very complicated, very difficult to figure out where to stand, to reflect the balls at the right angle, everything.
Yep.
This should be the last hit, though, right here. Will we see a clipe? Let's do it. You can clip out of bounds here in order to... it looks like she's not going to get out in time. It's kind of tricky, but if you get a really clean clip there, you can despawn that bat and end the cutscene a little bit faster.
Yeah, for sure. So you probably will see the hole open on Krithel's screen as the bat crouches here, roughly around the same time. Hopefully. There it is.
I guess it doesn't open until the cutscene finishes.
Yeah, today I learned. So yeah, they're both going to be fighting Ganon here. There's not too much to talk about. He has 4 phases, so he requires 6 hits with the gold sword on first 2 phases, so they're going to push him through that phase relatively quickly. The 3rd phase, he just needs 1 hit 4 times just to break the 4 sides around the room, and then they're going to be stunning him with the sword and shooting him with 4 silver arrows to end that out. So as they're kind of wrapping this up, I do just want to give a quick shout out to the 2 people who made this possible, JSD 1982 and Solidus. Between the 2 of them, they've kind of spearheaded the ALTTPO project. And when we brought up the idea of using it to speedrun, they jumped right in and helped us get everything set up so that it all worked fantastically. They've just been great overall, and I really recommend people check this out. It does work with the randomizer as well. I think they also works with the Super Metroid Zelda 3 randomizer. I might be wrong on that.
All right, so Ganon's going to finish exploding. A bridge is going to open. As soon as they cross the bridge into the next room, that's going to be time. It looks like Krithel is going to be very slightly behind Malmo, so when the second player enters that room will be when time is called. So that's time. GG's to Malmo and Krithel.
GG's.
Really nice run. Really cool. Too bad to see the death in Thieves Town and stuff, but really cool to see how these players are able to reroute on the fly. So nobody ever had to sit around and wait or anything like that. They figured out some really good ways to still make a lot of progress through it. Very, very nice. Great watch.
It really shows off the power of the category and the flexibility of it. The ability to change the order you're doing things in order to not lose as much time or to make up for something that's gone wrong.
GG's, Krithel and Malmo. Nice run.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bet you weren't expecting Left Side Swamp.
I was not expecting that. I think that you did a really good job rerouting on the fly, though. It was cool to watch you figure that out. I'm surprised you didn't get red mail, though.
We considered it.
Yeah, we considered. Probably should have in the end, it turns out.
Yeah, I could have gotten the time back not getting blue mail.
I don't really.
I mean, you guys were still 6 minutes underestimate, so I was very impressed from this side.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a fun one just for how dynamic it can be, and they certainly showed that off.
How many different routes have we done just this weekend?
I think every run's basically a different route.
I mean, if it all goes well, it's the same, but
yeah,
in these categories, things rarely always go well. But no.
Thin margins.
So yeah, the only other thing I do want to shout out is the Link to the Past community. Like it's just been a solid group of people, very friendly, and been a blast to make friends like these three people I have here with me. Really appreciate you guys asking us to come on today and help out.
Agreed.
Yeah, this was great.
Fantastic community.
Yeah, thank you both of the runners and both of the commentators. That was an amazing run. Any final words from any of you guys before we go to the next run?
Sorry, go ahead.
Thanks to the commentators, Foxless and Sirius, not only commentating but helping us route.
If anyone is interested in speedrunning this game normally or this way, the link to the Discord is on the Link to the Past speedrun.com page. Highly suggest you join up and ask. We're all friendly. We don't bite. And we'll point you in the right direction to get you started.
Would that be on Zelda speedruns, or just do you have your own website specifically for links to the past?
It might be on Zelda speedruns, but it's definitely on speedrun.com.
Okay, excellent. Well, yes, thank you very much. Just got a quick $5 donation to finish off the run. From Tempest Mask, they say, "Hi friends, I chip in more, yet this will have to do. I sincerely wanted to thank the UKSG crew for letting me volunteer this time around, and I wish everyone a fantastic February and beyond for 2022. Though I'm not sure what lies within the future, I'm sure that whatever happens, the next event will be just as great. Good luck to Krithel, Malmo, Mr. Ryan Ford, with the remaining runs. Go fast and have fun. Tempest out." Thank you very much, Tempest. Yes, and thank you very much to everyone who's donated so far. We greatly appreciate it. That has been Link to the Past co-op. And with that amazing run, we're going to go to a quick break, and then we'll be back. Sorry, my cat decided to speak up. We will be back with Link's Awakening DX. See you shortly.